C is going really low.
Oh, this is going well already. Hi. It's Ryan O'Brien. It's the Rob. It's Ashley, our DME, and Creepy Gavin over here behind us, just like some weird guy.
This is us.
Yeah.
This is us. Well done. All right. Are you touching my shoulder?
You invade my studio during my show. Sorry about this. I have to at least make an appearance.
Okay. So the finale was last night.
Yes.
This is us finale.
A lot of people talking about it.
We were all expecting to find out how Jack died. What are you?
I've got to leave. Because I just remembered I'm not caught up.
Oh, goodbye.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler.
Yeah,
By the
so
way, spoilers.
Spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled like me.
Oh, we're playing here. Oh, this is so
So anyway.
We are in the Matrix and Inception is happening. Another movie right
All right, we've got a device
Get out
open
of here,
so we
spoilers.
can...
All right, I'm leaving.
we can look at
Enjoy
comments.
your low ratings without me.
This is going well.
We got the
so
Gavin
far.
rub.
All right, so anyway, I think last night everybody was expecting, myself included and my wife, that we were finally going to find out how Jack dies. Because we've known for a while that he's dead.
Yeah, really since like the second or third episode, we knew that Jack dies. And it seemed like, I was even saying since that episode aired, with the crescent moon and everything, the season finale is going to be when he actually dies. But we were wrong.
Again,
They left us
spoilers,
hanging.
they kind of left us hanging a little bit.
And then when things were going south with William, I was like, well, maybe William will die on the season finale. But I was off by 2 episodes that time, too.
Yep.
They like to keep us guessing.
So far.
Which makes
yes.
it a good show. I mean,
Well, yeah, and
we don't know what's
here's
gonna
the
happen.
here's the thing. Rob and I have talked about this before. The way this show is set up, you can stretch this story because it's all the only time you see Jack is in flashbacks anyway.
Correct.
So you can stretch this "How did he die?" out for as long as you want to.
Or somebody drinks some weird mushroom tea. Remember that?
What?
No,
Did you remember that
at
episode?
the cabin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When
Randall
Rainbow
drank, like,
got high.
ayahuasca or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he could show up as some kind of hallucination from time to time. But,
Well, and also something I think that's worth noting is that, boy, I had a point when I started that sentence.
You could really say anything and it would...
well, we know there's
It would work.
fan theories out there.
Right,
Yeah.
correct.
Which we could discuss, or it doesn't really matter. I think one of them that I think jumped out that you had mentioned to me that there was some talk that he might have died at 9/11.
That was an original.
I did see that.
That was an original fan theory, but my thought process was, now the characters are 3 years older than me. They were born in 1980, and that would make them 21 at 9/11 if he died in a plane crash. There are some weird things going on with planes. Kate had a very negative reaction to riding on a plane with just a little bit of turbulence on the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, good point.
It was really crazy. She has some sort of thing with planes. She also bears a lot of responsibility for Jack's death, no matter what it is. Now, I bet you when it plays out, she will have unjustly blamed herself. I don't.
That would be my guess.
But I don't know for sure. But they were really setting us up last night for the reveal because Kate, it was revealed the episode before that she feels it's her fault. Mm-hmm. And then also that episode, we find out she urges him to go the 2-hour trip to see her play. He's like, it's 2 hours away, and Kate says, yeah, it's only 2 hours.
And you see him drinking and driving.
Correct.
Which everybody kind of assumed that it was going to be a car accident, but...
That didn't happen.
Well, you had said something to me, and I noticed we do have a comment here from another Ashley. You said something on Facebook this morning that you were a little disappointed in last night's episode.
I think that everyone really wanted to at least know how Jack dies. Mm-hmm. They didn't come out and tell us this is going to happen, but I think the expectation was we will find out.
They certainly led you to believe that but this show's known for throwing curveballs almost on a weekly basis.
Correct. Starting with the very first episode, like that reveal at the end that, they're all related was just like, that's the curveball of all curveballs, I thought. Like, that was an awesome storytelling device.
You and I were talking before, outside of how Jack finally meets his maker, so to speak, I want to know how Rebecca and Miguel end up together. Now, I don't know if it maybe stems from if Jack is actually going to go live with Miguel for a little bit while they go through this little rough
Doesn't
patch.
he have a family?
Miguel does have
Miguel
a family.
does. He's got he's at this point we know he's divorced too, or at least in the process of in the flashbacks, and I think 1 or 2 children, but we've never met those kids.
During an earlier episode, so I think this was before the kids were born, Miguel and Jack are at a sports bar, and Miguel is complaining about home life, just that, and just like kind of jokingly, but, the old ball and chain kind of thing. He's got a wife, and I believe he had kids too. We don't know the details of them, but they're there.
But
And
he spends holidays now with her family. So
That's
maybe
true.
And there's some weird thing between him and Kevin.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Miguel
a
and
tension
Kevin,
there.
they don't. For some reason, Miguel can't figure out why Kevin doesn't like him,
Yeah,
which is still yet to play out as to why. But
that's correct. I didn't even think about that, but that is very true. The big thing though is, I don't know if Rebecca and Jack are going to get divorced, but it's very obvious she is still wearing that crescent moon that Jack gave her earlier in the season, and that to me is the telltale sign that it's tragic. Whatever happens, I don't know how they go out, but it's going to happen. I don't think they get divorced, but that'd be weird to wear the jewelry that an ex gave you after you divorced.
and still be wearing it in your new marriage.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah. And also, it's weird to move on from someone to their best friend and
Well,
marry
but
the
you
best
know,
friend.
it's not surprising because in the flashbacks, Miguel talks very highly of Rebecca to Jack whenever he and Jack get together and have a drink after work or whatever to discuss
It's as if he's
home
been
life.
wanting her for a long time.
Yes, you get that impression. So
And there's also, let's not forget, temptresses abound at that workplace. There are secretaries
Mm-hmm.
all over the place that want these working guys.
Was there a scene where Miguel was kind of having an affair with somebody else and Jack kind of got after him, or am I just making that up in my mind?
Okay, there was a scene where he was heavily flirting in an
with the
office
secretary.
with the secretary.
But she kind of flirts with everybody. But yeah, he
well,
was.
she
kinda
put her
like-
hand on Jack's knee in that flashback
Correct.
last week, and
Yeah.
he said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Yeah.
What are you doing here?" So
So another thing that took me out of this last episode was Jack and Rebecca have thus far had a very strong relationship. And I felt like the fight that they had last night about punching the ex-boyfriend slash band leader or whatever you want to call him, I felt like that would not have broken them up in reality. Like, I feel like, you got to remember, Rebecca had already committed to leaving the tour. As soon as the guy tried to kiss her, she's like, I'm out. She was leaving. She just happened to run back to grab something and saw, Jack hit the guy. So I feel like they wouldn't have called it off after a bickering like that.
Well, maybe it's a bigger, deeper issue.
I mean, perhaps, yeah. There are a lot of time jumps
Because
we don't know.
in the fight, she sounds like she's kind of unhappy with her own life, and she's putting that on him.
Yeah, and another thing is, like, the premise, I think, of the fight is also off base. Rebecca is blaming Jack for, not letting me have a life, not letting me have a career. Jack, I don't think, has a problem with any of those things. And we were talking about this earlier. I think his problem is strictly, you're going with your ex who you were hiding your relationship from me, so that's going to cause a lot of tension. I wouldn't be cool with that either. If you want to go on a tour with your band, that's one thing. Now, all of a sudden, you're throwing your ex-boyfriend in the band and you didn't tell me about it, I'd be a little concerned too.
We actually have a comment from
I
Ashley.
saw that too.
She said, "Does anyone wonder about suicide with his heavy drinking and the possibility of losing the love of his life? It seems like it could happen."
Okay, I have a thought about this. I think, like, in stories, whether you want to talk about stories like this, movies, even in pro wrestling, you have good guys and you have bad guys. Jack is a clearly defined good guy, and I don't see him going out like a bad guy. I see him going out like a hero.
I disagree because I saw an interview with the lady who plays Kate. I can't remember her name right now, but she said that she knows how he dies, and it's very surprising to her, and it's something they don't talk about a lot on TV. They don't address it.
Interesting. It's got to be an overdose of K2.
that's right. It's bath salts. Nobody saw the bath salts coming. I'm kind of with you on the fact that I don't think suicide would be the way he goes. I feel like it's some kind of an accident of some sorts.
And he'll be doing something heroic. He will die doing something good, something selfless.
Maybe saving Kate from something.
Something
if
like
that's
that.
why she blames herself.
Or maybe she had a suicide attempt and he...
Possibly. I think at this point they've built this up to such a thing that it's got to be good.
It's got to be
You
good.
can't just he got an infection from a cut on his arm and they couldn't, don't make it.
Clearly his dad is a smoker growing up in a house with a lot of smoke
Yeah.
and developed lung cancer.
Right, something like that. But you get just, when you start to piece things together, the age of the kids from the funeral scene a few episodes back leads you to believe that we're in that range now somewhere, that they're it's immediate. It's not like a long-lasting, like he gets cancer and this takes months or years for him to finally...
It's kind of shocking.
It's kind of a, God, he's gone.
Last night's episode was set in 1996, and I believe the death will happen in 1996.
But I don't know when we'll see it. That's
Correct.
the thing, because they can keep going back and forth to the 80s when the kids were younger. They can go into the teenage stuff back and forth, just whatever ties the present-day story into the past.
That funeral scene that we got one little glimpse of seemed 96 to me. It didn't seem...
Well, the kids appeared to be about the age that they've been showing within the last couple
and
episodes.
That would be 16, 17-ish, and they seemed that age in that one scene. Also interesting point to discuss is we learned a little bit about Jack's past, which I would describe as very surprising. It was definitely cloudier than people expected. Not always the good guy he's been displayed as on the show.
You mean more in his actions, not so much his home life. I think was pretty well defined because he and his dad's relationship.
I'm talking about kind of the life of crime.
The idea that he would go.
The thought of the Jack that we knew robbing a bar was extremely foreign. That seemed totally out of left field.
And the facial hair being gone, I think that was visually kind of...
Well, the one thing I noticed
too,
that to my recollection, they never mentioned before that he was a Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
When he was fixing the old lady's car.
Yep.
But he was just, he said, I just was a mechanic. I didn't, he didn't feel like he was really a part of that. So it makes me,
He's the kind of guy who would downplay his...
I guess I didn't realize that they're trying to play them off to be, when we get into these later years of the early to mid-90s, that Jack at that point's probably, Vietnam was, 71, 72 was when it ended. So he had to have been at least 18 or 19 at that point. So you're jumping ahead. We're talking Jack being, close to 50 by 96?
50? Oh, I don't think so.
Well, 92 or 70, let's say 71 to 91 would have been another 20 years. Okay, so, all right. So,
40s.
He's in his late 40s. He's close.
I can get with that. But it was just interesting to see. He's never seemed like a character who would plot a bar scheme or even one who would gamble his savings away. That was all so out of left field.
But I think he got to a point to where he was tired of being
the good guy.
Yeah. And there's something relatable to that because you people that try to stay on the straight and narrow and do what they're supposed to do, and they go to work every day and they bust their asses, and then you watch other people that are either cheating the system or receiving handouts or whatever the case may be, and you've got this goal. He and his buddy obviously wanted to open up an auto body shop or some kind of mechanics place. And they've been working really hard. You get that impression for some time, and they've only got $1,500 or $600 or whatever it was, and I don't know what the price of a building is back in 1980 or 1976. But I think it's just one of those things that I think all people are capable of doing. Going, I've been doing it the right way for so long, and it's gotten me nowhere. So what if I try it just this one time to see if I can get by with it?
I guess I got kind of a different impression. My thought was it was Rebecca. The moment he met her is what turned him into a good guy. Wanted to be a good guy for her.
I don't know that he was a bad guy up to that point. I think he obviously had some bad guy tendencies, or at least a thought or two. Whether he had acted on them previous to that last night, we don't know. But I would agree with that there was something about seeing her for the first time that made him go, there's more out there that I can do and stick around for.
The show has been extremely well received. It's been the #1 new show of the entire season on any network. Curious as to what you guys think of the highlight of this first season. I have one. That my favorite part of the entire season is the tail end of the first episode. That reveal that everybody in this story is related. Even Randall, who once he gets dropped off into the family to replace the miscarried child, that to me was so emotional and just boom, it changed the whole episode you watched.
Yeah.
Did you guys have moments like that? Maybe William's passing of that Thanksgiving episode was very memorable. A lot of people love that one.
I think that was a good one. I don't know if there's one particular moment as much as I did enjoy the Randall Williams storyline. The searching for, and I like the fact that there was some payoff to it pretty early on in the season, and it wasn't like dragging this whole thing out with all these different little side stories that they've got going on around the plot. It wasn't like Randall searching for his dad through 13 episodes. It was pretty much 2 or 3 episodes in, he got the hit.
I think it was the first.
Was it even that
I
deep
think
in?
it was.
Yeah, I think so.
He knocks on the door in the first episode. I
But
think.
the guy that played Williams, really, really good. I really just enjoyed the character, and I enjoyed his performance of it. The way that he was able to, and the way that family was able to invite him into their home, when Randall just said, "Hey, I found my dad. He's going to live with us for a little bit," and obviously the wife was a little on the edge about that because we don't know
and
who
don't
we're
forget,
getting
don't
with.
forget Rebecca.
Yeah, and I think that was a big moment too.
Yeah.
Just the fact that, hey, by the way, guess what I found out? And now I know that you've known for all these years and you've hid him from me, even though you knew full well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that relationship moving forward needs to be repaired to some degree. It looks like they're. I remember when they were all taking the walk after William's death. They were all taking a walk through the neighborhood because that's what William wanted to do. And there was kind of a moment there between Randall and Rebecca where the seeds for repairing that relationship are starting to be laid. But I thought that was a big moment on how you've got this kind of really diverse family to some degree with the way they were brought together with Randall, and how they're able to make it all work. It's a really good show. My wife and I were watching Parenthood when it was on NBC, and we
People
really got
keep
into
recommending that to me. I got to check that out.
And when we saw this was coming on, we thought we'd give it a try and see what happens because it felt like it kind of had that same vibe. This first season's been better than Parenthood.
Yeah.
And Parenthood was a good show.
And we know we have at least 2 more seasons to play with because it's been confirmed for renewed for a second and third season, which is exciting. There could be more even than that, but yeah. Other highlights of the first season, I thought Toby's heart attack was very memorable. The trip on whatever that mushroom drink was in the cabin, that whole cabin episode.
That was a weird episode. To kind of see, because it's so focused on the family, and then when they put other characters in that feel uncomfortable almost.
Mm-hmm. And then there was the first Thanksgiving, or not the first one, but the one that they had in that hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have, I think, strong thoughts about, strong reactions to different scenes.
I think it makes you sometimes look at your own family and think, oh gosh, my family isn't as weird and messed up as...
We're not as nuts as we think.
Look at there are other people who are kind of weird and messed up too, and that's okay. So.
Yeah. All in all, I don't know when it's supposed to be back on. I'm hoping we get
not soon enough.
I'm hoping we get more. You and I talked about this the other day. I think the fact that we're already at the season finale and it's only the second week of March, but I think it was only a 13 episode run initially to see how it did, and we should get full on 22, 23 episode seasons. I would think from here on out.
I don't think we'll see anything before the fall. I bet you it'll probably be September-ish that it comes back. That's just a bet.
Probably, yeah, either late September, or early October, about the time the other shows start coming back on too. But yeah, I'm already ready to see where it goes from here. I mean, it's that good that it's hooked you into the point that even after last night, when I wasn't upset really that they didn't show how Jack ends up passing away, because again, we already know. I think it's more just curiosity now.
We're getting the timer.
Are we getting the timer? Does Gavin need to be back in his studio? All right,
wrap.
But yeah, we'll would love to hear your thoughts too. Feel free to continue commenting.
Leave your theories. We all love it.
Gavin's back.
I have a job to do. If you guys could vacate.
We're the big three signing off.
See ya.